I'd like to call to order tonight's zoning board of appeals meeting. We have, the very first item on our agenda is old business and new. The first thing is approval of minutes. We've got 3 dates there. And it's my,
Table on that if you want, just because we got a late start on doing it.
we'll do him first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you come up and tell us about your proposed project and give us your name and address at the podium if you wish. Doesn't have to be anything fancy or extensive. Your application is.
Yeah, you have all the details, so.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lawrence Vance. I am the homeowner at 474 Rockland Street in Abington. We are trying to do a home extension for a second floor. It doesn't change the footprint of the building at all or anything, but I'm told that it's a non-conforming structure for some reason. I honestly don't know the reasoning behind it. But it doesn't change the footprint of the structure at all. It's all been inspected and approved as far as, private inspectors looking at the viability of doing it. So we just need approval for it for an addition for 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, nothing super extensive.
I believe, Nick, you had mentioned that it's the lot is.
Yeah, the lot's undersized.
For the area where the zoning bylaws apply. And so we just have to go through this.
It just triggers a manual approval, yeah.
All right. Do any of you have any questions about this particular thing? I personally don't. A lot of people in Abington are adding up, as it were.
Yeah.
And aesthetically, the house is gonna look, just new siding, essentially. similar
Yeah,
to-
new siding, which will actually look better
Yeah.
since it'll be the, like the nice vinyl siding and everything.
You gonna do the whole house that way?
Yes, yeah, we're redoing the siding on the whole house as
And
part of this.
Are you extending parking at all in the driveways?
No.
Okay.
That's a separate thing that Nick wants to talk to us about.
Yep.
So, it looks like the setbacks and everything are okay. The main thing is just that. you have to-
Sidewise, yeah. It's just the size of the building and the lot.
And I should have read into the record, this is the petition of Joseph Redmond for a finding, he's your constructor? or your-
Yes, he's our contractor, yep.
For a finding per Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 6, to construct a 37 by 25 second-story addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure. The property is located at 474 Rockland Street on Assessor's Map 21, Lot 73, in the medium-density residential R30 zone. So I was supposed to have read that into the record, but.
Sounds correct to me.
Yeah, that's what the petition says, so.
Any, then obviously you gave notice to the neighbors, any issues or anything like that that you're
Nope.
aware of? No? Okay.
None of them have presented anything to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't have anything else? Pretty straightforward?
You have anything else, Bob?
Since you're adding a second floor, the second floor egress, will there be an exit off the second floor down the
No,
street?
it will be entirely internal.
So it's all based on the same homeowner, using the same property, just expanding the bedrooms? up to the second
Correct.
floor?
There is no plan to create a sublet for, an Airbnb or an apartment or anything like that. There's no, it's
Okay.
just for our personal use.
That's fine. Thank you. No, I'm done other than that.
All right, I would entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
Like you said, this is just what's happening in town these days, because
Yeah.
that's what has to happen
Yeah,
for people to get along. So
I agree.
it's part of not doing things, and the conformity is the non-conformity. It's 70% of the town is non-conforming, so it's like,
Yeah,
what else we're supposed to do?
yeah. I don't have any other discussion myself on this. How about you, Andrew? Do you have anything?
No, nothing, thank you.
Then I would entertain a petition on this matter.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Joseph Redmond for a finding per Massachusetts General Law 48, Section 6, to construct a 37 by 25 second-story addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure. The board having found that that it's not, the petition, or the structure will not be substantially more detrimental to the existing non-conforming use, and just that construction be in substantial conformity with the plan submitted to the building department. The property is located at 474 Rockland Street on Assessor's Map 21, Lot 73, in the medium-density R30 zone.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You'll be receiving a letter after it's filed with the town clerk. I have to sign something whenever it gets ready, and the town will file with the town clerk, and you'll get a copy of it.
Perfect,
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Good
Be early
luck.
next week.
Thank you. And then I believe there's a 20-day waiting period
Yes.
starting now that it's been approved?
Once
That,
it's filed.
that starts once it's filed with the town clerk. So it'll be early next week.
Early next week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
when
you
you
all
get
very
that
much.
letter, there'll be
Good luck.
a stamp date on it.
All right. Andrew, thank you for suggesting we do that first. That was just my error. Old business and news, the approval of minutes. Since there's three of us here tonight, and two of them, I guess we need to have 2 out of 3, a majority, approve these as opposed to a unanimous vote. And so Andrew and I were discussing this a little beforehand, but suggesting that, for the May 8th ones, that Bob, you and I can vote on that.
Yep. Motion to approve the May 8th meetings as submitted.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Present.
And then,
June 12th, I will make a motion to approve the June 12th, 2025 and June 20th, 25 meeting minutes as submitted.
I will second that.
Oh, you were recused on those two.
Was I recused on it?
yeah, because
Yeah.
that was,
Was that just mine?
well, the first one, we continued it, so,
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
I pulled mine back then.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So there's just the 2 out of the 3 of us for that one. And then for the last one,
I did those both.
oh, you did those both, so we have to do a separate vote on that, because that's you and, I'm confused.
I did the June
Oh, you did both of them together?
12th and June 20th in one
Okay.
motion.
Right,
Yep.
that's right, okay, so those are both approved. All right, I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Is there any correspondence or email?
Nothing.
And then, Nick, you wanted to talk about zoning changes being proposed by the building department.
Yeah, couple things I want to put forward at the next town meeting. To be honest, they're coming forward from the building department, but you guys are the ones who deal with them every month, so want to get your opinions on it at the very least. First thing, a lot of towns in the area, a finding like tonight, I don't really agree with putting that burden on a homeowner. So this language, pretty much copy and pasted from Marshfield. The black is our current, the red would be what I would like to add to our language. Pretty much if someone's proposing some kind of change that fits within the setbacks, then the building department will be able to make that finding themselves and approve the project. If they're proposing a change that comes out of the setbacks, then it would come here for a finding.
So if it had a side, a front, or rear setback issue, it would have to come to the board, but if
Yeah.
it meets all the current zoning requirements, and it's just the non-conformity, the
yeah.
non-conformity would just be approved by the building department.
Yeah, the finding would be made by the building department as a permit granting authority. One like tonight is an example of one that I would just approve.
Yeah, we get these regularly, with and without the setback issue.
Yeah, we've had some similar ones, I don't want to name addresses, but where the property might have a front setback issue that makes it, non-conforming, but they're doing an addition in the rear that fits the side and rear setbacks. That's something I'd like to see just get approved.
Right, it doesn't change the
Yeah,
nonconformity.
if they were, say, a non-conforming because they were too close in the front setback, and they're looking to expand to the left or right, kind of extending that front setback non-conformity, that is something that I would not approve, would come before the board for a finding. And that's when I wouldn't consider a variance, it would be a finding, but by you guys. So trying to give the avenue of, people coming here, it's a month to get on, another month pretty much for the appeal period, and it's, $200 filing fee, $200 to the newspaper, the abutter notification, it adds up quick on people, and I don't love it. I'd like to see some of them just kind of move through when we haven't really heard any problems with any of these ones that are generally fitting in there in their area, but that's something I'd like to see changed. Pretty much every bylaw I looked at around has something to allow. They vary, some of them, most of them are kind of similar to this, where if it fits in the setbacks, it can go through. Some of them kind of put like generic setbacks to then allow it. I think it's places that have some areas that are pretty built up, so it'd be like, as long as it doesn't go within 10 feet, the building inspector can approve it, at theirs.
Yeah.
I'd rather just stick with our setbacks, and then when it gets more into a gray area, send it to you guys, give the neighbor, really, not so much you guys, but give the neighbors a chance, if they have an issue with it.
This be also true for ADU unit that met the side and rear right side and rear setbacks? Would not have to go through?
I would consider this language, it would allow, yeah, under this language, if the
That's what I'm
ADU,
asking, under the.
yeah, if the ADU was if the structure was non-conforming, but the ADU being the change,
Yeah.
didn't add any kind of non-conformity, I would consider this to be something I'd issue.
Okay. Thought process,
that-
Andrew?
No, I agree with the concept, I'm just trying to, is this what you're gonna discuss with Amy?
It's something, right at this point, it sounds like we're not gonna have a fall town meeting,
Okay,
so it'd be spring.
Okay.
So this is pretty far out.
yeah, okay.
We're not gonna have a fall town meeting?
It doesn't sound, I haven't heard of
We're
anything
gonna
that
have a fall,
would,
we're gonna have a fall special election most likely, right?
there will be a special election in the fall,
One of
in
the,
November, yeah.
Select persons resigned.
Yep. But from what I'm hearing, they don't anticipate a fall town meeting, so this has quite a bit of time.
Okay.
It's gonna,
So we'll see this again before it gets finalized?
I'm happy, probably what it'll end up being is some kind of, it won't be our ZBA meeting, but something kind of going over this with Amy, and planning board. The zoning changes generally go through planning board for their approval, but I see you guys once a month, want to talk to you guys about it. If you have any little changes, something like that you think. Ultimately, it's something I believe in, it's something I'm gonna propose, but
No, I think it makes a lot of sense just to streamline it, cut down the cost for individuals, and, yeah, like you said, I mean, there wasn't really much of a need for us to sort of just continually rubber stamp these, creating all these filing fees. I maybe just want to work through this a little bit to make it a little bit more clear for people who are applying for permits as well as us in terms of how to work through the logic of it, just because it is, the language in the actual statute itself is so poorly worded.
Yeah, and I don't need-
Plenty of time.
yeah, I don't need language right now either.
Yeah.
Feel free to shoot me an email with things you're thinking about. Happy to bounce it around eventually.
Yeah, I like the concept. I think that, making somebody spend $500 for, 15 seconds here.
Yeah, and then the 2 months too is really what I'm
Yeah.
hearing people kind of upset about.
So,
Today's the day to get on the August meeting, So if you applying tomorrow,
You're fine.
it's, I'm
You're in
seeing you in September, and then a month after, it's October when you break ground.
yeah.
And it's, people definitely get upset about that part.
I mean, in the interim, we could change the cadence of the meetings, do them more frequently or something.
Yeah.
If we don't really seem to have much of a backlog of them, but just something to keep in
But
mind.
I do think that having someone with a legal background, people on the board.
Defer to Amy on this.
Or,
This is her-
Amy being the town council, just to.
Yeah, no, Amy
so
will,
that there's clarity, because I think you're
Yeah.
right, that, I don't know what the statute is, but people are often confused by what they need to do here.
yeah.
I think the more we can do to improve that, the better. You said you had a couple things you want to talk about?
Yeah, my other one,
The unfinished basements.
exactly. This is specifically ADUs. I've had a lot of people upset by it. The way the ADU bylaw is written is that basements count towards your square footage. So if you're trying to do that 900 maximum, if you want to put a basement, it knocks you down to 450, pretty much in practice. I've had a few different people where the goal is to move out of their house into an ADU they build, move the next generation into the house with, their grandkids, everything like that. And their problem is, where do we put all our stuff? They're moving out of a 2,500 square foot house into 900, and they're picturing 900 for living and 900 for storage, and I'm telling them, no, it's 900 flat. Personally, I don't think the basement should be included. I understand the thought, I believe, is the concern that they would then finish their basement and turn 900 into 18. I don't have a great solution for that.
And that was, I was just looking to see, if we have any definition of what constitutes an unfinished, like, basement or unfinished?
Yeah, I mean,
living
habitable
something
space
like
is
that.
defined in the building code. You know, it's mostly by ventilation and lighting and everything like that. I mean, you need 8%
Can't you
of the
put
floor area.
limitations on bathrooms in the basement? Could you put limitations on plumbing in the basement? Could you put limitations on anything that would prevent the expansion of livable space?
The,
Egress would be the
There's
main
nothing
thing.
stopping you from basically framing out a basement, throwing up some drywall and having, like a rough finished basement without any intervention from the building department.
yeah, it'd certainly be difficult to enforce. The, you know, it's just,
So wouldn't it be advisable to have something in the zoning, if not the planning, that requires review of any expansion of the cellar of an ADU unit before it could be approved for building code?
No, but I'm just saying you could have it, it's just an unfinished
Anyone
basement.
could do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
after
just-
after you
people
get the
understand.
ADU, you could go build it up.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
who's gonna know?
No, yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
put plumbing down there for a kitchen or a bathroom, then someone's gonna know because the water department has to be involved.
Yeah.
And the state currently ADU has nothing on this, or?
I mean, we haven't gotten,
All we're talking about for the state is the 900 square foot maximum, right?
that is the minimum that the town could do from the state. The state wouldn't care if you did more than that. If we wanted to allow 1,500 square foot
Oh, yeah.
ADUs, the state would be fine with that. But if we limit it to 700, the state would then say no.
Say no, right?
They set minimum regulations, so we have to allow it at least this. And they did allow for this basement exclusion, so it would be getting a little lighter on what the state required. This is mostly just what I'm hearing from homeowners in town, what they're trying to do.
I mean, I don't have a huge issue with it, just something to think about.
Yeah, I definitely think there's something to think about.
And this would be something that
Because the ADU is not developed for a homeowner to move out and let someone move in their house and develop the ADU. The ADU I thought the state was trying to provide additional housing for third-party people. So if you allow an ADU to be built on my property and I want to rent it out to somebody, then they have no more than 900 square feet of space to make livable
Yeah,
with the basement or with the first floor or whatever. My concern would be is that becomes a split. And now you got two living in one, what we expected to have one family living, and you could possibly have two families living on it.
But if it's not any type of plumbing or anything like that.
yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be, it wouldn't be
You'd
a
have to
legal
regulate
two-family.
the Plumbing on that, because you don't want two kitchens, two bathrooms in a ADU that's 900 square feet.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be legal to have two families in there. They would need to make that ADU then into a legal two-family. I'm not saying people wouldn't attempt things like that, but it certainly wouldn't be allowed. Generally, I get neighbors complain about stuff like that. I go out, issue a cease and desist.
So what would be your suggestion then, Nick, as far as?
I mean, mine's just taking the basements out of there so they can have them. We can talk to Amy to see if there's some way to expand on that, to then have it in the ADU bylaw that finishing the basement specifically not allowed. I don't know.
Would we have to define what a finished basement would be then? Would you have to?
It probably
write
wouldn't be bad.
something into the-
Yeah, you can kind of grab habitable space from the building code and tag it over, but it'd be good to have a definition right in the zoning bylaw. I'm not sure if habitable space is addressed,
I
but
don't see it as an actual definition.
Could you do it by limiting physical things like, if you have an ADU basement, it can have no legal egress? Because if they're gonna finish it, They can't have windows they can get out of, or doors they can get out of that would be considered means of egress. So that they can only have a basement that's a basement and nothing else.
The building code would allow that though, would it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't like to restrict ways out of a place.
But, you know,
Just if somebody wants to put a escape window in their basement, I'd always support it,
bulkhead or
building code wise.
yeah.
I think it's a good question for Amy, on what could be limited, like, no flooring can go down, or walls can't be sheetrocked, or something like that. Ceiling we wouldn't be able to get into, because, oil and gas appliances, you have to sheetrock over them. So sometimes the ceilings get sheetrocked just by code. But restricting what's done on the walls, the flooring might be something we can do. And again, this is just something that would be proposed at town meeting. The town would then vote on it, and see where it goes.
It does seem like it's worth bringing to the attention of Amy so that
Yeah.
we have some direction on it, because it does seem 'cause it seems to me like the intent was they'd have 900 square feet of living space,
Yeah.
but we're just trying to prevent people from, scamming it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure you have enough problems with that already.
Yeah, I certainly do. The majority of these people who've come asking for ADUs is more of an in-law type situation so far.
And the majority of them have full basements?
The applications for ADUs,
Yeah.
I've told them they can't, because that's what the bylaw is. And that's generally I've kind of taken to just telling people that right up front before they go and design plans and things like that with a basement. I had one that came showing me a, plan that had the finished basement, not the finished, had a full basement.
Yep.
I explained to them they wouldn't be able to. Other ones I've just told off the bat, hey, understand this can't be a part of it.
So I know that we had a recent applicant in here that they had probably because of the topography of their lot, but they did built it on piers.
Yeah, and these are either supposed to be could be on piers, could just be, a crawl space underneath them.
Yeah, what about lowest floor? Could you exclude it if they deemed it the lowest floor? The lowest floor of the lowest enclosed area, an unfinished or flood-resistant enclosure usable solely for parking of vehicles, building access or storage in an area other than a basement area is not considered a building's lowest floor, provided that,
That's related to floodplain.
yeah, okay.
You're allowed to have like a garage in the floodplain, even though the house has to be built up a foot or two. Abington, it's not as big of a thing, but coastal communities, you'll see a house up on piers and then they'll have a garage,
Yeah,
and that's kind of,
that's the lowest floor?
yeah.
I could have floated my boat in my
Basement
backyard today. Trust me. You will.
All right, we got some time, definitely something to kick around.
Yeah,
Yeah, and certainly talk to Amy about a good way,
Start with Amy, and we'll go from there.
yeah, to
We can
protect
have another
that.
conversation after that.
Yeah,
because it does put you in a particular bind, because you don't want to invite people to make it, you don't want to make it easy for people to, make a two-level, two-unit ADU.
But then
Yeah.
again, if you slap up some drywall and throw a couple couches down there, I mean, this isn't the end of the world either,
No, that's true.
No,
But I think the idea of plumbing or, kitchen appliances is the thing to draw the line at. Although a lot of people have, beer fridges in their basements.
yeah, I mean, that's just a cord though.
another thing you don't want, since you have a beer fridge and and a couch, is a urinal or a bathroom. I mean, this is like a catch-all. You can see how this just rolls, and how many times do they not come in front of you to put the extra bathroom in or whatever they want to do? So,
Yeah, usually when they get into bathrooms and stuff, they end up coming. But there's oftentimes people, throw up sheetrock and everything like that down the basement without coming, and then usually it only comes up when
Right
They have
after a
some kind
fire,
of-
oh, when did this get finished?
Yeah, really, it's, something goes and their basement gets ruined and they're, go to the insurance company, well, we just spent 15 grand doing over, and the insurance company goes, was it permitted? Well, no, they go, we're not paying you $1. Or when homes get sold, pretty often you get the calls from realtors, hey, was this permitted? No, and then all of a sudden you get the permit application after the fact. But it's something like that. Occasionally you'll drive by and see it, but usually it's a neighbor calling and complaining, or they end up calling or convince it to admit to it themselves because they want the permit for some reason, whether that be bank or insurance or new buyer. But it is certainly would be a tough one for me to catch people. I don't go in ADUs.
Yeah,
Once they're
the
built up,
ADUs
I'm
buy,
never
you
going to
get-
be in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Once the ADU's built, it's pretty much out of your sight, and scenes until someone makes a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. The so
So I think we should run it through Amy for what.
yeah, both of these will absolutely.
process. But I think for the second one, we could have another discussion afterwards and see if we can come up with something for protection for the town.
Yeah, and she might know some stuff from other towns.
I don't disagree with allowing someone, and as you said, putting a basement lounge in, who gives a fly, but it's what the potential is after that we run into a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing for me is sometimes it kind of sucks, the few bad actors kind of ruin it for everyone
Everybody.
else, you know.
It's typical, though, that's not.
The few I've had that I think genuinely just wanted somewhere to shove their stuff. And it, you know, it sucked telling them no. And it's something I'd like to see kind of get before the town, and town can decide how they feel about it. But I do like the idea of finding some way to have at least some language in there that if somebody goes astray, it's right in there in the bylaw that they were wrong and that, you know, that needs to get straightened out.
I agree.
So-
I have no problem with that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. But
We
got-
to ease your burden, but within the protection of the town.
Yeah.
You know, That's the most.
yeah, it's tough finding that balance.
Because especially with this whole new presentation. I think the governor's idea of having additional housing is great. I just worry about the details that were never part of the original structure of the finding, of the discussion. And
Yeah.
how much has changed already, given the fact that it was put into effect on February 1st,
Yeah.
you know, so.
I know many people agree with the rollout. The building inspector meetings in particular are quite critical. You had someone from EOHCL or whatever it is there, and it was not well received. Yeah.
Well, on that light note, perhaps I would entertain a motion.
There's nothing else to be discussed?
No, I just had those couple things. I mean, again, we're 7-8 months out
Yeah.
from really finalizing them, sending them before planning board.
April 26th is going to be the next time we have a town meeting, most likely?
I believe so, unless something comes up. My understanding is right now, I asked in relation to this,
Okay.
kind of, hey, do I have to get moving really, or can we kind of
Easy.
talk about this and play through it and everything like that? And I was told that unless something comes up that requires it, they don't plan to have the fall town meeting,
Okay.
or a special town meeting. We got the election, and I guess everyone feels that's enough.
Okay. Motion to close the zoning board meeting?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, folks. Thank you.